Hello, hockey fans. Austin here with the pregame report for Game 2 between the Edmonton Oilers and the Las Vegas Golden Knights. The Oilers went into Vegas, took Game 1, and of course, before this series started, I said if the Oilers can get the split at minimum, that would be a great scenario for them to be in before they go back home to Rogers Place later this week. However, as a fan of Edmonton, I'm taking a homer side here. I'm getting a little bit greedy. I want the Oilers to take a 2-0 series lead. After watching Toronto get a 2-0 series lead on Florida, I would love for Edmonton to also get a 2-0 series lead. The further these teams go in the playoffs, the happier I become. And I also kind of want Edmonton and Toronto to meet in the finals because this entire country, all of Canada, would just absolutely implode. It would be incredible. So if you end up enjoying today's pregame report, make sure to smash that like button. And if you're not yet subscribed to the channel and you want to tune into daily hockey content here on the Austin Hockey YouTube channel, maybe join us for the live streams, which I will be doing tonight. Live stream commentary for Game 2 right here at 7:30 p.m. local time. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Subscribe. I'm a little wonky with the words today. Now, I am not going to pretend that Edmonton beat Vegas's best team the other night after taking Game 1. In Game 1, they were missing, Vegas that is, they were missing their top goal scorer from the regular season, Draisaitl, and they were missing their number one defenseman in Alex Pietrangelo. Both of them are considered day-to-day at the time of this recording, which is 10:24 a.m. I don't know if either of them will be in the lineup tonight for Vegas. I'm not sure what's going on with either of them. I think Pietrangelo's illness, Draisaitl, not sure what happened to him. But if neither of them can go, or if even one of them are missing from the lineup tonight, obviously that is a huge loss for Vegas. And this is something that I didn't really talk about during or after Game 1. And it is something that I do have to acknowledge as an Oilers fan that, you know, Vegas, I think they have another gear to hit. They have a better lineup that they can ice once guys are healthy. But at the end of the day, you have to fight through that. The Oilers all season long fought through a lot of adversity when it came to their injury situation, different players that were sick, injured, not in the lineup, then out. And right now for Edmonton, I think there are still guys that are not 100%, but they are out there. They are performing to the best of their abilities, and I cannot ask for much more. Edmonton has looked phenomenal at 5-on-5 so far. The only wart in Edmonton's game right now is their special teams, but we will talk about that. But first, let's discuss the projected lineup for the game tonight for the Edmonton Oilers. For the top line, it will remain Leon Draisaitl with Connor McDavid and Corey Perry. And right now, the Edmonton Oilers have the luxury of loading up McDavid and Draisaitl because the rest of this lineup is pulling their weight. They are scoring timely goals. In Game 1, Zach Hyman scored the game winner. Connor Brown had a goal to seal the deal to make it 4-2, and that was before Vegas even pulled their goaltender. They are getting contributions up and down this lineup. So it makes it much more difficult now for Vegas to decide how they want to defend against Edmonton's forward group. Do you try and play your best players against Draisaitl and McDavid and nullify them and hope that your depth can come through? Or do you see that Edmonton is getting contributions from line 2, 3, and 4 and try and get your best players out maybe against line 3 against Edmonton and then hope that the other lines can slow down McDavid and Draisaitl? This is quite the conundrum that Bruce Cassidy finds himself in, and I think a lot of Vegas fans also find themselves in because in years past, the Oilers relied very heavily on top in production from Draisaitl and McDavid. This is not the Oilers of the past. This is a team that so far, through 6 games against the Kings and 1 game against the Vegas Golden Knights, the Edmonton Oilers are getting meaningful contributions from literally everybody. The only forward in this current lineup that has not scored a goal for Edmonton in the playoffs is Vasily Podkolzin, but he still has 4 assists, so he is still producing points. He just hasn't scored yet. Janmark has 2 goals. Connor Brown has 4 goals. Look at that. Connor Brown. Oh my goodness. And Corey Perry, he also is producing a ton on that top line for Edmonton. Meaningful minutes for Corey Perry. This is a very tough forward group to handle for any team, especially because of how well they're playing. On line 2, Evander Kane with Nugent Hopkins and Zach Hyman. This line has been phenomenal for Edmonton. Now, their underlying metrics have also been good, right? There's a lot of times where sometimes a line is producing a lot, but their underlying metrics don't look good. And, you know, you kind of question how sustainable things are. Last year, that was the Janmark, Henrique, and Connor Brown line in the playoffs. Now, that line was producing, but their underlying metrics showed that that likely would not continue. In the regular season for Edmonton, that became true. That line did not look good. Their underlying metrics were bad, and they were getting outscored. But now Edmonton can spread the wealth out throughout this lineup. And on that second line, having a Vander Kane in this lineup and having a Vander Kane also produce points at a pretty high clip. He's 2.5 points per 60 minutes right now, which is really, really good. He is basically producing at a top line rate, but he's playing on the second line. And this is a guy that did not play all season. He did not join the Edmonton lineup until game 2 against the LA Kings, and he's only getting better and better. I find every single game he is doing something that is even better than the previous game. Last game against Vegas, he assisted, primary assist on Zach Hyman's winner, a great pass to Zach Hyman. And normally in years past, Vander Kane might have just taken that puck to the net. He might have just shot it himself, but he is actively looking for his teammates. He is looking to make plays, and he is laying the body, and that is a great sign. That really takes the weight off of a player like Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, who normally on that second line is the player that is deferring. He's passing. He's trying to make the responsible plays. But if you have Kane, Nugent-Hopkins, and Hyman all making responsible plays and contributing on offense, well, boy, oh boy, you got some chemistry there, and that is a very difficult line to slow down if you're the opposition. On line 3, you have Trent Frederic with Adam Henrique and Connor Brown. Now, I've already talked a little bit about Connor Brown because I always talk about Connor Brown, my favorite player on this team right now. We love Connor Brown. Get that hat trick, buddy. I want that jersey. Connor Brown, like I said, has 4 goals in the postseason. Trent Frederic has a goal. Last game, he hit a post. He had a partial breakaway where he missed the net. But Trent Frederic, he's also looking better and better every single game. His skating still looks a little off. You can tell that that high ankle sprain is still bothering him, but he is always finding himself in the right spot. When it comes to the defensive side of the puck, he is not getting caught in bad positions where, the other team can, expose him, take advantage of him. He's been fine. He's been good enough. And on offense, I've liked his game a lot. Him, Henrique, and Brown have really good chemistry right now, and that is a solid line for Edmonton. Hopefully they can continue their production. And then, of course, the fourth line, you have Podkolzin with Janmark and Arvidsson. This is a line that is not getting a lot of ice time, but they are having very meaningful minutes when they are on the ice. I always say with Chris Knobloch, I wish he'd played Podkolzin and Arvidsson a little bit more. Last game, they both played about 7-8 minutes. And yes, I'd like to see them play about 10 or 11 minutes. But it's not about how much ice time you're getting. It's about what you're doing with the ice time that you are given. Are you doing something meaningful with that ice time, even if it's only 7 minutes of ice time? Because it is hard for players to get into a rhythm, especially a guy like Podkolzin and Arvidsson. Regular season, they averaged about between 13 and 16 minutes per game, those two. Now their ice time has really dropped, but that just means that they have a lot more energy when they do get their shifts. They are effective on the forecheck, they are banging bodies, and they are getting very good opportunities to score goals. This is an X-Factor line for Edmonton. Look for them to contribute tonight. I am feeling a Vasily Podkolzin goal, a Podgolzin, Podzilla, Podgolzin. Come on. I love all these puns that all the fans have created. So hopefully that fourth line, I have a good feeling about them tonight. They've been playing well. They're due to break out a little bit more, in my opinion, when it comes to offense. Now, defensively, you'll have Nurse with Bouchard on pairing number 1, and there's always a little concern with Nurse and Bouchard. They looked a little shaky against the Kings together, but in Game 1 against Vegas, they both played phenomenal hockey. I thought they played great. The only criticism that I have for that pair is that I think they were trying to force passes a little bit too much. It took a little while to break through Vegas in the neutral zone. I thought Darnell Nurse had a few too many giveaways when it came to trying to play the puck either in the neutral zone or the offensive zone. The Vegas Golden Knights, they are so good at getting sticks in the lane and making it really difficult to find those east-west passes and even the north-south passes too, if you are not paying attention. So for Nurse and Bouchard, I want them to maybe carry the puck a little bit more. I want them to really make sure that the pass that they're making is the right play, not necessarily the best play, but the right play, right? Do the play that is in the situation in the moment, going to give you the best opportunity to get the puck in the offensive zone is what I'm trying to say. Oh my goodness, my brain is fried right now. On the second defense pair, you'll have Wallman with Klingberg. And again, this has been a massive X factor for Edmonton and their continued success. They've won 5 straight games, and Wallman and Klingberg are a huge reason as to why. They have been terrific. Jake Wallman continues to play incredible hockey at 5-on-5, and John Klingberg is doing something that I don't think any fan expected when the playoffs started. He is playing well. His underlying metrics are great. His goals for and goals against is terrific. It's positive. And he looks good. He doesn't look out of place at all. He looks like vintage John Klingberg. If any of you watched John Klingberg in the mid to late 2010s, when he was in his prime with the Dallas Stars, boy, oh boy, he was a special player. There's a reason why he was very, sought after and why he got a lot of ice time, especially in Dallas's run to the finals in 2020. John Klingberg has been great. I could not ask for much more from him. Obviously, he needs to sustain it, because there's always that worry that there's going to be some kind of regression. Maybe teams are going to start exposing him. He's a little awkward, and yeah, he falls every now and then. But you know what? For what he is bringing to this defensive core when they're missing Matthias Ekholm right now, it's been great. Cannot complain at all about those two. And then the third pair, you have Kulak with Emberson. Now, Ty Emberson only played about 6 or 7 minutes in game one. Look for that trend to continue. Chris Knobloch really does, or I guess I should say Paul Coffey. He's kind of one in charge of rolling the D. He really shortens the defensive bench once it comes to the third period. Emberson, he gets a few shifts in the first, few shifts in the second. He'll get some penalty kill time, but once that third period hits, he doesn't usually touch the ice. So we'll see how that continues. Brett Kulak, I thought, didn't have a good game against Vegas in game one, so look for him to maybe step up and have a better game tonight. And of course, starting in net for Edmonton is the 5-game win streak goaltender for Edmonton. It's Calvin Pickard. What a story this has been for him. What a story it's been for the team. This could have backfired very, very hard when they decided to go with him as the starter in game 3 against Los Angeles, but he has taken the reins and he has not looked back. Yes, he's prone to those 1 or 2 goals that he gives up in the first period. The Oilers get down, but then Calvin Pickard, he locks things down. His save percentage in third periods in the playoffs is a .952. He does not give up anything after the second period, and hopefully he can find a way to not give up anything in the second and not give up anything in the first either. It would be nice if Edmonton could get a lead early in the game and then push and build on that lead, and then have Pickard, of course, keep things locked down for the team in front of him. The team loves playing in front of Calvin Pickard, and obviously he loves playing behind them. Now, when it comes to the pregame stats, the Vegas Golden Knights, they have a record of 4-3 in these playoffs. Their power play ranks 5th. It's been great. Their penalty kill ranks 4th. It's also been great so far. Goals per game ranks 12th, only 2.86 goals per game for the Vegas Golden Knights. They have not been able to find consistent offense so far. Mark Stone has produced for them. Jack Eichel's produced. But when you take a look at their other forwards, they have 0 goals from Brandon Saad, 0 goals from Tanner Pearson, 0 goals from Victor Olofsson, 0 goals from Keegan Colasar. Colasar doesn't even have a point in the playoffs so far, and he's given second-line minutes. So for Vegas, they need a little bit more from their depth and role players if they're going to have a chance in this series. Goals against per game ranks 10th at 3.29. Now, of course, this is not all on Adin Hill. I thought he actually prevented Vegas from being down even worse in game 1, and he is a good goaltender. He makes big saves. He kept Vegas in the game in game 1. He allowed them to have a lead heading to the third period, but the way Edmonton attacks with wave after wave after wave, at some point that dam is going to break, and it did in game 1. We'll see how Vegas's defense and their goaltending responds in game 2 tonight. Vegas is 5-on-5 advanced metrics. They rank 7th in expected goals at 49.95%. Now, in game 1, or I guess I should say before game 1, Vegas was 3rd in expected goals. And then after game 1, they're 7th. So it shows that these small sample sizes can create some very large variation in how the rankings go. One game to the next can actually fluctuate a pretty big number, pretty big gap there. So that's why it's always important to not put too much stock into the advanced metrics, though I do like to bring them up because I still think that they're very important. But a one-game sample size against Edmonton, of course, we're not sure how this series is going to play out. We're not sure if Edmonton can sustain that type of play. But for right now, Vegas is a below 50% expected goal team in the postseason. High danger chances for, they rank 8th, and their shots for percentage ranks 6th. So Vegas right now, they're not scoring a whole lot, and they're kind of in the middle of the pack when it comes to their advanced metrics. We'll see if Edmonton, who was one of the best advanced metrics teams in the league, can find a way to keep producing some offense here. For the Oilers, they rank second on the power play, though they were 0 for 2 in Game 1. If they get an opportunity in Game 2, they have to find a way to break through and score a goal. It is very, very important because their penalty kill ranks 16th, and if the opposition is getting a power play, they are likely going to score on you. Edmonton needs to, at minimum, break even on special teams tonight. Goals per game, Edmonton ranks first. Goals against per game, they rank 12th, though that number is slowly getting better. Their goals against at one point was almost 5 goals against per game. They're down to 3.71. It looks like they're starting to lock things down, and Calvin Pickard is starting to get into a bit of a groove here. Expected goals for, Edmonton ranks first at 5-on-5. They rank first in high danger chances, and they rank second in shots for percentage. Edmonton, they largely control the play at 5-on-5. They control the high danger chances. They control the scoring opportunities, and they control the expected goals in games. And it's also been translating into actual goals, and that's a great sign for the team. Now let's get to the keys to the game, players to watch, and the score prediction. Now, the keys to the game for the Edmonton Oilers, number 1, depth scoring. This team needs to continue to sustain that depth scoring if they want to have long-term success in the postseason. Not only has the depth scoring been there for Edmonton, it has been there almost every single night, and it has to continue. Obviously, having McDavid and Draisaitl be able to go out and contribute as well is huge, but this team will not go on a deep run without the depth scoring continuing to roll for Edmonton. Number 2, discipline. Discipline is incredibly important here. You cannot go out and take a 4-minute high-sticking penalty 2 minutes into the game and give the Vegas Golden Knights an opportunity to go up early, which they did in Game 1. Keep your sticks down, boys. Hit players into the boards. Use your arm, use your stick, but keep it down. And, of course, stay out of the box. The Vegas Golden Knights are too good on the power play. They have too many high-end players to just give them opportunities. Don't gift them anything. If they're going to get a power play, at least make it worth it, if you know what I'm saying. And then, of course, number 3 for the Oilers, the third key to the game, score first with a little angry face. I'm so grumpy that this team just can't seem to score first. I know the Oilers set a playoff record, 5 straight wins after being behind at some point in those 5 games. No team has ever done that in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Boy, oh boy, would it sure be nice to have the lead, build on that lead, and then close things out comfortably in the third period. Score the first goal, Edmonton. Let's see what you can do when you do that. Now, the Golden Knights, number 1, they have to stretch the neutral zone out just a little bit more. Of course, they don't want to open things up too much against the Oilers because Edmonton, they can kind of play any style. They can play the low event, just kind of, chess match back and forth, clog the neutral zone. And if you stretch the neutral zone a little bit, try and get those attack rushes, right? If you can have at least one winger cheating up near the red line, stretch the neutral zone, force Edmonton's defenders to get back, and then attack off the rush. The Golden Knights, they did score off the rush in Game 1. You had Mark Stone come in. He was the player that came in late, and then he held on to the puck. He had all day to pick his spot. He ended up going 5-hole on Calvin Pickard. If the Golden Knights can stretch the neutral zone, attack off the rush a little bit more, they'll have some success tonight. Number 2 for Vegas, they have to pressure Edmonton's defense more. Now, obviously, Vegas, they have some speedsters. They have players that can get in on the forecheck. And the Oilers, their defensive core, for the most part, is pretty mobile. They can skate, they can move the puck, and that's great. But Edmonton is notorious for making big mistakes if you put a lot of pressure on their D. Vegas is going to have to become a little bit more aggressive. They can't be as passive. They may have to have 2 forwards go in and pressure both sides of the ice and force Edmonton defenders to make a mistake. I found Vegas, after they got the lead, they only had that 1 forward pressuring. They were doing a 1-2-2, and it's just, you need a little bit more. I think they're going to have to go a 2-1-2, in my opinion. 2 forwards going in to pressure, and then you have your F3 who's kind of playing up high that can kind of, read the play, go to the right or left, depending where the puck is going. Put pressure on Edmonton's D. You'll find a way to cause turnovers, and you'll find a way to get some goals because of it. And then number 3 for the Golden Knights, special teams. Now, discipline is important for Edmonton, but special teams is important for Vegas. Vegas is a good penalty killing team. They're a good power play team. If Vegas gets a few opportunities on the power play, that could be the difference in them winning or losing a hockey game, depending if they are able to contribute on the special teams. So for Vegas, take advantage of special teams if you get it. And when it comes to my players to watch, number one for Edmonton, we are going Vasily Podkolzin. I mentioned that he is the only forward in Edmonton's lineup that does not have a goal yet, though he does have 4 assists, so he is still producing meaningfully in the minutes that he's given. But I do think Vasily Podkolzin is due to score a goal. He is my player to watch for Edmonton, and Brandon Saad is my player to watch for the Vegas Golden Knights. He also does not have a single goal for Vegas. They picked him up from the St. Louis Blues earlier in the season, and they're looking for him to contribute. He's been on this team before. He knows what it takes to win. He knows what Bruce Cassidy expects of him. For Brandon Saad, I think his playoffs so far have been slower than I think a lot of Vegas fans were hoping for, and even himself. We'll see if Brandon Saad can get himself on the board tonight. Now, what is my score prediction? What the heck are we going with here? We're already 20 minutes into the video. Oh boy, I love stretching these things out. Drum roll score prediction. I am going to go with a 5-3 Oilers win, of course, with the little happy face. He's just so happy chilling there. I'm going to say 5-3 Edmonton. I'm going to say Edmonton takes a commanding 2-0 series lead against the Golden Knights before going home into the absolute hornet's nest that is going to be Rogers Place on Saturday night here in Alberta. It's going to be a blast heading into Game 3 if Edmonton can find a way to steal 2 games and steal home ice advantage outright from the Vegas Golden Knights. Though, of course, you have to play the game. You have to find a way to do it. The Oilers have not gone up 2-0 in a series since 2017 against the Anaheim Ducks, where they took both games in Anaheim. And we all know what happened, Oilers fans, in that series where Corey Perry was part of that Ducks team. I will not mention what happened. However, for Edmonton, if you want to give yourself that best opportunity to move on and, really put the pressure on your opponent, get that win tonight. Try and take 2 in Vegas. That would be incredible. Of course, they've already earned at minimum a split. I like that. I want more. I am greedy right now. I want more. I want more, Oilers fans. If you ended up enjoying today's video, again, just hit that like button. And if you really liked it, make sure to subscribe to the channel. If you're listening on a Spotify, a podcast platform, thank you so much. I will be trying to remember to upload to the podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple, and Amazon Music. Thank you all for your continued support. It means the absolute world. I cannot wait to see all of you tonight during the live stream. Vegas fans, good luck. Have fun. Oilers fans, tell someone that you love them. And as always, fight like a kid. Fight like Ben. Let's go, Oilers. We'll see you tonight. Let's go.